My parents skipped my PhD graduation for my brother's soccer game. The president's announcement. Just another piece of paper, Dad texted. Your brother's game is once in a lifetime. I stood backstage in my doctoral robes, reading his message for the third time, as if the words might somehow change. I walked across the stage alone, the weight of 5 years of research on my shoulders but no family in the audience. But then the university president grabbed the mic. Hold on, Eleanor. Your real family is here. The spotlight swung to the back of the auditorium, illuminating 3 rows of unexpected faces that made my knees buckle. There, standing and applauding, were 4 to 3 people. My thesis advisor, Dr. Sarah Martinez. The janitor, Robert, who'd unlocked the lab for me at midnight countless times. Mrs. Pershing from the campus coffee shop who'd kept me caffeinated through dissertations. The security guard who'd walked me to my car during late nights. The librarian who'd helped me track down obscure sources. My study group. The undergrads I'd mentored. Even the therapy dog handler whose golden retriever had gotten me through panic attacks. They were all wearing matching t-shirts, Dr. Eleanor Walsh's real family. But let me start from the beginning, from this morning when everything unraveled. I'd woken up at 5 a.m., too excited to sleep. Today was the day. After 5 grueling years, failed experiments, a complete thesis restart, and more cups of coffee than any human should consume, I was getting my PhD in biomedical engineering. At 26, I'd be one of the youngest doctorate recipients in my program's history. My dissertation on affordable prosthetic technology for developing nations had already won 2 awards. The technology I'd developed could reduce prosthetic costs by 80% while maintaining functionality. 3 NGOs were waiting to implement it. The Gates Foundation had reached out about funding. But when I called my parents at 6 a.m., my mother answered with irritation. Eleanor, it's early. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong, Mom. I just wanted to make sure you knew where to park. The ceremony starts at 2. Oh, that's today. My stomach dropped. My PhD graduation. Yes, today. Honey, we have Connor's soccer tournament. It's the state semifinals. But you've known about my graduation for 6 months. And Connor's team just made it to semifinals last week. You know how hard he's worked for this. Connor, my 22-year-old brother who'd been playing soccer since he was 5, who had a full shelf of trophies, walls of photos at home, and had never once attended any of my academic presentations. Mom, this is my doctoral. Eleanor, you've already had several graduations. High school, undergraduate, your master's. Connor might never make state semifinals again. This is different. This is 5 years of research. My life's work. Dad's voice came through, distant. Tell her it's just another piece of paper. Connor's game is once in a lifetime. Just another piece of paper. The work that had consumed my 20s. The research that could help thousands of amputees. The nights I'd slept in the lab. The relationships I'd sacrificed. Just another piece of paper. Will you at least live stream it? I asked, hating how small my voice sounded. The field has terrible reception. Look, we'll celebrate later. Dinner next week maybe. Next week you're taking Connor to tour Division 1 schools. Oh right. Well, we'll figure something out. Got to go, warm-ups are starting. She hung up. I sat on my bed, in the apartment I shared with 2 roommates because I'd lived on a graduate stipend for 5 years while Connor got a new car for his 18th birthday, a gap year in Europe for his 20th, and now lived rent-free at home while finding himself through soccer. My phone buzzed. A text from Connor. Sorry sis, can't make it. Big game today. Get someone to record it. Not even the effort of proper capitalization. I thought about not going. What was the point of walking across that stage for an empty audience? But then I remembered Dr. Martinez, who'd guided me through every crisis. Robert, who'd brought me sandwiches when I forgot to eat. Mrs. Pershing, who knew my coffee order and always asked about my research with genuine interest. They'd be there. The university required faculty attendance, and the staff usually came to support their students. So I showered, put on my best dress under the doctoral robes, did my makeup carefully even though no one would photograph me, and drove myself to campus. The auditorium was packed with families. I watched other graduates taking pictures with parents, grandparents, siblings, cousins. Entire rows wearing their graduate's name on matching shirts. Bouquets of flowers. Proud tears. I found my assigned seat and texted my roommate Lisa. If you're free, graduation is at 2. She replied immediately, already here. Row 5. Couldn't let you walk alone. My eyes burned. Lisa barely knew me. We'd been roommates for just a year. But she was here. As the ceremony began, I tried to stay positive. This was my achievement. I didn't need them to validate it. But when they called the PhD candidates, when it was time for the doctoral hooding ceremony, the most significant academic honor I'd ever receive, the emptiness hit hard. Each graduate had their advisor place their hood, then turned to find their family in the audience. The photographer captured each moment of joy. I'd have no such photos. Eleanor Marie Walsh, Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Engineering. I walked across the stage. Dr. Martinez placed my hood with tears in her eyes. "I'm so proud of you," she whispered. I turned to the audience, expecting to see only Lisa, maybe a few polite faculty clapping. That's when President Harrison grabbed the microphone. "Hold on, Eleanor. Your real family is here." The spotlight swung to the back, and I saw them. 3 rows of people, all standing, all wearing those shirts. But it wasn't just random support. As I looked closer, each shirt had something different written below Dr. Eleanor Walsh's real family. Roberts said, "She shared her ramen when I forgot lunch." Mrs. Pershing's, "She tutored my daughter in calculus for free." The security guard, James, "She brings me coffee on cold nights." Dr. Martinez's, "She never gave up, even when the funding was cut." The librarian, Ms. Foster, "She volunteers teaching kids coding." President Harrison continued, "6 weeks ago, your advisor came to me. She said one of our brightest students might walk alone at graduation. Within an hour, 43 people had volunteered to be here. Your impact on this university, Eleanor, extends far beyond your research." He turned to the audience. "Eleanor's prosthetic technology will help thousands of people walk again. But more than that, she's helped dozens of undergraduates find their passion, supported staff through difficult times, and shown that brilliance and kindness aren't mutually exclusive." The woman next to Robert stood up. I recognized her as Angela from financial aid. She helped my son with his science fair project. He won first place and decided to become an engineer because of Dr. Walsh. An undergraduate I'd mentored, David, called out, "She talked me out of dropping out when my dad died. Now I'm headed to grad school." One by one, they shared stories. How I'd helped, listened, been present. Things I'd considered small, normal human kindness, that had meant everything to them. President Harrison smiled. "Your biological family might have missed this moment, Eleanor. But your chosen family, the one you built through compassion and dedication, wouldn't miss it for the world." The entire auditorium erupted in applause. Not just polite clapping, but a standing ovation. For me, the girl whose parents thought her PhD was just another piece of paper. Dr. Martinez leaned in. "There's more. Check your phone after." I walked off stage in a daze. My phone had exploded with notifications. The university had tweeted about my achievement and the real family moment. It had already been shared thousands of times. But the important message was from Dr. Martinez. "Check your email. Official letterhead." I opened it to find a job offer. Assistant Professor of Biomedical Engineering. Full position. Starting immediately. "We were going to wait until Monday," Dr. Martinez said, appearing beside me. "But after your parents, well, we wanted you to know today that you're valued. That you belong here. That we see you." I couldn't speak. Assistant professor at 26. It was unheard of. "Also," she added with a grin, "the Gates Foundation called. They are fully funding your prosthetic program. $20 million over 5 years. You're going to change the world, Eleanor." My phone rang. "Connor." "Hey," he said. "We lost. 3-2, Dad's pissed." "I'm sorry," I said automatically. "Whatever." "Hey, some reporter just called asking about you. Something about viral graduation video. You famous or something?" "Something like that." "Cool. Oh, Mom wants to talk." Her voice came through, bright and false. "Eleanor, we just saw the video online. Why didn't you tell us the university was making such a big deal about your graduation? You said it was just another piece of paper." "Well, we didn't know there would be news coverage. This is wonderful. We can still make the dinner reception." "It's over, Mom. It's been over for 2 hours." "Oh, well, we can still celebrate. The country club, maybe? Dad wants to tell his golf buddies about your success." There it was. Now that it was public, now that it made them look good, they wanted to claim it. "No thanks. Eleanor, don't be difficult. We're your family. My family was here today. 43 people who think I'm worth showing up for. That's not fair. Connor's game has happened every week for 17 years. My PhD happened once. You're being dramatic. I'm being honest. I've got to go. My real family is taking me to dinner. I hung up and found myself surrounded by my unexpected support system. Robert had organized a dinner at a local restaurant. Nothing fancy, they were staff and students, not wealthy parents. But they were there, present, proud. At dinner, Lisa stood up with a glass of the cheapest champagne the restaurant served. To Dr. Eleanor Walsh, who proves that sometimes the family you choose is better than the family you're given. Ms. Foster added, and who shows that success isn't measured in trophies or games won, but in lives changed. I looked around the table at these people who'd shown up when it mattered. Who'd seen my worth when my own parents couldn't. My phone buzzed throughout dinner. The video had gone properly viral. #Real Family was trending. Messages poured in from strangers sharing their own stories of being overlooked, of finding family in unexpected places. Then came the text from Dad. This is embarrassing. The partners at my firm are asking why we weren't at our daughter's PhD graduation. You need to fix this. I showed it to Dr. Martinez. She laughed. Fix what? Their absence or their reputation? Their reputation, obviously. My achievement only matters if it reflects well on them. She squeezed my hand. Their loss, Eleanor. Their profound loss. The next morning, I woke to more messages. Interview requests from news outlets. A call from the Times wanting to profile my prosthetic research. The Gates Foundation wanting to accelerate the timeline. And 37 missed calls from my parents. I called them back. Finally. Mom exclaimed. Do you know what you've done? The entire neighborhood is talking about us missing your graduation. I didn't do anything. I graduated. You chose not to be there. For Connor's game. Right. How many of Connor's games have you attended? All of them. And how many of my academic presentations? Silence. That's what I thought. Dad took the phone. Eleanor, you're being vindictive. We supported your education. You paid for Connor's car, his trip to Europe, his living expenses. I'm on student loans. You got scholarships. Because I earned them. Not because you helped. We're your parents. Biologically, yes. But parenting is about showing up. You showed up for Connor. Every game, every practice, every trophy ceremony. You missed my science fairs, my valedictorian speech, my undergraduate thesis defense, my master's graduation, and now my PhD. At what point am I allowed to stop waiting for you to see me? The silence stretched long. Finally, Mom spoke. The Hendersons want to meet you. Their son is interested in prosthetics. So now I'm worth knowing? Now that I'm successful enough to impress the neighbors? That's not. It's exactly that. I've got to go. I have a lab to run. I hung up. 2 weeks later, Connor called. Hey, sis. I've been thinking. That's new. He laughed, surprising me. I deserve that. Look, I saw the video. Really watched it. Those people, they love you. They do. More than. He paused. More than Mom and Dad love either of us, I think. That shocked me. They love you, Connor. They're at every game. They love what I represent. Their athletic son. But when I told them I want to quit soccer and go to culinary school, Dad said I was wasting my potential. You want to be a chef? Yeah, but that's not impressive enough for them. He sighed. I'm starting to realize they don't love us. They love the version of us that looks good to others. Yeah, I said softly. That's exactly it. Your real family, the ones at graduation, how did you find them? I didn't. They found me. When you're genuinely kind, when you show up for others, they show up for you. Think there's room for a failed soccer player who makes a mean risotto? I smiled. In my real family, always. 6 months later, I stood in my new lab, watching my first prosthetic being fitted on a 7-year-old girl from Guatemala. She took her first steps, and her mother cried, thanking me in Spanish while hugging me tight. My parents had finally visited the lab, bringing reporters they'd somehow convinced to cover their daughter's success. I'd asked them to leave, but my real family was there. Dr. Martinez, documenting everything for the research. Robert, helping with the equipment. Mrs. Pershing, who'd brought coffee for everyone. And Connor, who'd quit soccer, enrolled in culinary school, and made lunch for the entire lab. The little girl took another step, then another, getting steadier with each movement. Her joy radiated through the room. Just another piece of paper, Connor said quietly beside me, quoting our father. Look what your piece of paper just did. I watched the child walk into her mother's arms, both of them crying with happiness. It was never about the paper, I said. It was about being seen, valued, celebrated. I see you now, he said. I'm sorry it took so long. You're here now. That's what matters. That night, the lab empty, I stood looking at my wall of degrees. 3 frames. My bachelor's, master's, and doctorate. Above them, a photo from graduation, not of me alone on stage, but of the 43 people in their matching shirts, surrounding me at dinner, raising their glasses in celebration. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Dr. Walsh, I'm a PhD student in chemistry. My parents just told me they are skipping my defense for my brother's basketball tournament. I saw your video. Thank you for showing me it's okay to find a new family. I texted back, your real family will find you. They always do. And if you need one more person in the audience, I'll be there. Because that's what real family does. They show up, not for the prestige or the reflection of success, but for the person standing on that stage, holding their breath, hoping someone, anyone, sees their worth. My parents never did understand why I chose strangers over blood. But they weren't strangers. They were the people who saw me when I was invisible, who valued me when I felt worthless, who celebrated me when my achievements were just paper. They were my real family, and they were worth more than all the soccer trophies in the world.